Morning, family. It's Tasha. I'm on Bear Prepping. You already know what time it is, baby. Get your drink, pull up, whatever it is you're drinking around the world, whatever time it is that you're at right now. Let's get into this. So it's no secret, right, that there is some tensions going on right now in our world between us and China, right? And the what ifs. What is going to happen? Are they coming for us? Are they going to attack Taiwan? And all of that stuff is on everybody's mind. Well, people that are paying attention to it, of what is going to happen, what is going to be the next move, who's going to make it, how bad is it going to get. And I think that one thing that everybody can agree on is that if it goes bad, you guys, we are going to be hurting as a country in regards to our supplies and what we are going to be able to actually receive and get our hands on, because so much of our stuff comes from there. A huge piece, which again has been no secret, I preach this all the time, is it is super important to stockpile and prepare and stack up water, food, meds. Water, food, meds. If you do those three things, you are a lot farther than a lot of people, okay? And medicine is important. And one of those things that is a, I guess, concern of a lot of subscribers of mine, basically DMs, emails, questions that I get quite often is two questions. And that is, how do I get antibiotics? And also, what do I do when the prescriptions are gone and I can't get my prescriptions anymore? Now, I'm here to tell you today, baby, all things medicine need to be a concern for you today. But I would agree that those two things are very, very important. And they are the things that the majority of people that think about this do wonder about, right? Because antibiotics are that extra piece that we need. That's more than pain meds. That's more than what are the things we're doing to physically get better, right? That is how we get fixed from the inside out, right? And really nip in the butt what is happening in our bodies, okay? And so antibiotics is one of the most important preps you can get in your medical supplies and the prescriptions. Now today I'm going to cover a lot of stuff with medical stuff in general, like how do we prepare for the day that, because it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. They are going to attack Taiwan one day. And if we in turn handle that and insert ourselves in that fight, we will be cut off and we will not be able to get stuff. There's already holes in the shelves right now when it comes to cold medicines. At times I go, all the vitamins are cleaned out. So it's just like everything else we're dealing with right now with supply and demand, and there being holes and shortages, okay? But this is gonna look much, much different. Now, I want to bring to you guys today, first I want to talk about antibiotics. I did a video, I'll link it in the description box below, you guys, on I think it was 20 or 22 natural antibiotics. Now we're going to talk about holistic in a minute, but there is natural stuff. I just want to put it out there. There is natural stuff that you can do, but a lot of people are not versed in that, okay? And the problem is a lot of people, what they do know is they get sick, they get a something is wrong with them, right? And they go to they get a nasty earache, a toothache, something wrong downstairs, whatever it is, right? And they need antibiotics to fight it. And they just know, they go to the doctor and the doctor gives them antibiotics, okay? And over the years, preparedness channels have preached that the easiest way to get antibiotics was what? I'm sure y'all are saying in the chat, what's the number one thing you've been told for decades? Get you some fish mocks, right? So everybody's running around with a bunch of fish mocks, a lot of different over-the-counter antibiotics that you can get your hands on that are for animals, right? Way lower doses, not made for humans in the sense of maybe not strong enough, okay? And so a lot of us, to include me, have fish mocks in our preps and have been doing that for years. Baby, okay, JASE. I'm sure you have heard about this company, JASE Medical. This is called a JASE case. And it is the newest thing on the streets. It's amazing. There's a lot of controversy in the sense of, is it legal and all that stuff. I'm going to talk you through that. But this is an antibiotic kit. It is literally full of prescribed, okay, meds, prescribed antibiotics for me, okay? And it's amazing. So let's talk about some key points really quick. So it's 100% legal. It was founded by a board certified physician. It comes with 5 antibiotics. There's actually 9 on the list that they're able to work into your prescription, depending on, you know, your screening, your medical screening with the doctor when you do that part. Each customer goes through a consultation, and antibiotics are prescribed directly to them by our board certified physicians. Okay. Importance of having an emergency supply of antibiotics. We all know that that's because breakdown of supply chains, not able to get stuff, war. There's a lot of stuff that can happen where all of a sudden we're not able to get this. Just something as simple as a pandemic and not being able to go to see the doctor and go see people to get stuff. You would have this, okay? And then again, I just mentioned this a minute ago with the war with China and Taiwan. It's not a matter of, you know, can it happen? Will it happen? If it happens, no, it's a matter of when. It will happen. And being able to say, okay, I have a whole bag full of antibiotics for me and my family when it is needed is super important, okay? Now, let me explain what I had to do for this, and then I'm going to talk about what's inside, you guys. I basically went online. I filled out some information. It's not HIPAA stuff, so it's not like I'm on there like, yeah, I have this. They basically ask the basic stuff. Do you have a doctor? Have you seen the doctor in the last couple years? What are you taking right now? What are your prescriptions? What are you taking over the counter? Whatever, right? That information goes, and you pay for it, obviously, and then the doctor contacts you, and then depending on those questions, I'm assuming there's some dialogue back and forth. Mine was very, very smooth and easy, and boom, in the mail to me, prescribed. And basically, you get notifications as the steps happen, right? You get notified by the doctor. You get notified if you got approved or not. I'm sure if you weren't, or if you needed an additional consultation. And then I got a notification, hey, my prescriptions were being, you know, made, right? And then when it was delivered, when it was mailed and then delivered, and it was quick, like within a week, I had this in my hands. Now inside, I have 5, I have 4 here, and I have 1. These are tons of pills, okay? Like amoxicillin, for example, I have 28 pills here for 14 days. It says take 1 tablet by mouth twice daily for 14 days. Now, I have questions, but I'm going to hold that for the company because I have questions now. Let's get into it. So there's 5 things. There's a little book. It's very, very informative. So at first, it's going to tell you the 9 types of antibiotics that are in the kit, or that could be in the kit. Now, depending on your consultation will depend on the 5 that you get in your kit, okay? Then it goes and it breaks down literally what each one will do. So it will say amoxicillin, and it will say used to treat, and it lists the things used to treat bite wounds, pneumonia, and some other stuff, okay? But basically it tells you, then it breaks down even further as you go further, different conditions, cautions, extra notes, expirations and storage breakdown, all types of stuff, okay? So very, very informative booklet that comes with it, okay? This, my friend, is amazing, okay? This is, I haven't seen anything on the market as long as I've been doing this, as long as I've been preparing and prepping and stockpiling and what can I get my hands on to be ready for my family. Baby, this is the best it gets, okay? This is top-notch medical care at your fingertips, okay? Every family needs to have this, okay? There's a link below, okay? The link, I think there's a code below too. If you put in MamaBear10, you will get a $10 off, okay? Because this kit is pretty expensive, but to me, totally worth what you get in this, okay? Invaluable, this right here, and having this in your preps, okay? So you guys, I can't stress enough, if you don't have antibiotics in your preps yet, and you haven't gotten this from another preparedness channel, you need to order this and get this today, okay? I hate to push things, okay, on people. I really don't, right? And I usually say, you know, you don't get it if you don't want it, right? And I'll say this, if you can't afford it, obviously you're not going to get it. But if you can afford this, if you can budget this in, get it, and get it as soon as possible, because we are going forward in some tough times. Additionally, prescriptions is the other question I get. You know, how do I prepare if I take prescriptions for something and all of a sudden I cannot get it? Now, we can preach all day, hey, talk to your doctor, try to get a 3 months worth of supply, right? Try to get as much as you can ahead of time. We teach, hey, if it's a med that maybe you can miss once in a while, or you have missed in a little bit and you have some overage, keeping that, vaccinating it, keeping that extra meds, whatever it is, right? Any way and any trick that you can go, that you can possibly do, right, to stretch out that prescription or get more for a short period of time. But we're talking long term. Something happens long term and you can't get. There's already disruptions with prescribed meds, you guys. A lot of people are telling me, to include ourselves, meds being replaced with generic meds or other meds, having to go to 4, 5, 6 different places to get a med filled because places are not ordering it. They're like, no, we don't do enough of it. We're not going to order it. We're not going to serve the people with it. Okay. So prescribed meds, super important. I'm going to tell you what I do. I did a video on this before. You need to get a piece of paper, and you need to start researching holistic options. What are the foods that aid in whatever the ailment you have? What are the foods that help? What are the over-the-counter meds, over-the-counter supplements, vitamins? What are the things that are helpful for what you are dealing with? Hubby has high blood pressure. I now know all the things to get in my stockpile that we stock to aid him. The foods that are going to aid him, the plants, the tincture. And now I've made the tinctures. I've gotten the plants ordered. I have backup seeds. I have dried herbs. I have supplements and vitamins stacked up in bottles. I have all this stuff, right? I prep and stack the food and preserve the foods that I know aid in that. And it's super important that you do the research. Now, I understand that some medical stuff, you guys, is life-saving, is not that easy to just eat some different type of food, right, and change your diet, right? There's some very serious stuff out there that people have emailed me about, and as soon as I read it, I'm like, whew, that's heavy. But let me tell you, that would not stop me, okay? You cannot let people tell you that there is no alternative medicine, or there's nothing that will help you and aid you in any way possible, right? Somebody emailed me and said they're schizophrenic. They have all this stuff going on and they take meds for it. And they were like, how am I going to deal with this? And baby, that was heavy, okay? But I would be researching. I would also right now be talking to your physician, your psychiatrist, counselors, anybody, and getting an opinion from them as well. What are the holistic things, anything to help any aspect of that, and how that affects my body physically, mentally, right? And that will aid me during a time that I don't have prescription meds. That's heavy, okay? I would also probably be reaching out to professional holistic people. Have you heard of this? Googling who has dealt with this. What have people done? I am sure there's people out there that their world is to deal and work in that field with holistic options, okay? But it takes work. That's the problem. It's going to take work. It's not a magic pill. You can't just email somebody like me and be like, hey, how do I fix it? What could I do? Right? That would take me weeks and weeks to research. It takes me weeks and weeks to get the information for my own family for the different things that we do. Okay. So please do yourself a favor. Start researching, start talking to people while you can, while you have access to that stuff, and figure out what's your game plan. Okay. Start with a piece of paper and literally take notes. Literally take notes as you learn stuff about the ailment that you're trying to learn how you could possibly treat. Okay. Can't stress enough getting your over-the-counter meds. You're just your basic stuff, you guys. Okay. Your basic ailment stuff. Look at your body. You need meds for your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, skin stuff, diarrhea stuff, vomiting stuff, tummy stuff, all the things, hemorrhoids, all the different meds, over-the-counter meds that you would need, okay? Inflammation stuff, right? Ibuprofens, your pain meds, your cough meds, all of those things, okay? Heartburn, get your over-the-counter stuff. I cannot stress enough that it is the worst if you have a toothache and you don't have a simple cream to be able to put on that. Okay, you've got to get that stuff, okay, because you are going to be your own doctor. Could there be a thing where, hey, we're not getting meds because we're in a conflict, we're not getting meds, right? But of course, you still have a doctor, you still have somebody that you can go to. Hey, I'm sick, I have a toothache, I have whatever, right? And whatever. But if that doctor can't, because there's meds, the doctor might not be able to give you meds, right? If they don't have stuff or they can't send you to a pharmacy to get stuff, maybe if there's no meds on the shelves, it's just a matter of time there's not some pharmacy stuff. Now, I would venture that as soon as things go left, if the government can catch it quick enough, there'll be some sort of sanctions with in-house, you guys, where they will take all the meds off the shelves and they will say that could only go to prescription pharmacies. And if you want something that was once over the counter, you will then go to a doctor to get that. Can you imagine you need something as simple as Oragel or a yeast infection thing, and you have to go to a doctor to get a prescription to be able to buy it, because we have now closed in and that's our way of rationing what we have left. This is going to not be good, okay? And that's just an example if they were to catch it in time to be able to pull the supplies off the shelves, okay? But I don't know, we're not very good at being proactive. We are reactive, and I think that it's important for you today to get your meds, okay? That includes supplements, vitamins. I just mentioned all the things that I learned that are great for high blood pressure, that are over-the-counter supplements, that are vitamins, right? And you get that stuff, right? You stack that stuff. Vitamins, so many vitamins are super important for immune boosting in general, but there's all types of other supplements and things that will help you. What's crazy is as you research stuff that will help you with an ailment, right, and a holistic option, you will learn of other stuff that you never heard of, and then that will send you down a rabbit hole, and then you'll research about that, and you'll research the negative effects, because you have to research the negative effects, how they combine with each other. Let's say you find one, you find this one too, or you hear of this. Okay, now you're Googling to see what those effects have on each other. Are they both safe? How often can you take both of them? There's a lot of research, right? But you will learn about other things that you never thought in a million years, you had no clue about, okay? When I find something and I've done my cross-back search, right, of how this is going to affect my family member, then I'm seeing how it affects other medications and supplements that he is on or she is on, right? And I'm taking these notes and I'm just getting it all together as a big picture so that I'm ready, and then I'm stockpiling that in all ways that I can. So holistically, right, I'm making tinctures. I get the herbs now, right? So I get fresh or dried herbs now. I do a tincture now, but then I get the plant, I get the seed, I get the backup herb dried stuff from Etsy or whoever I bought it from, but I get it in all three ways, right? If it's a food, okay, I get the food stacked physically in my pantry, okay? I find if it's a food that I can get different ways, then I will stack it in different ways. For example, high blood pressure, beets are very good for high blood pressure. I have beet powder for juicing. I have dried beets, dehydrated beets. I grow beets. I have beet seeds, right? So I want to have beets covered down in regards to, because I know that's a good food. But in research, I also realized that if you eat a lot of beets, it's not a food that he could eat every single day, because if you eat it a lot, it can cause kidney stones, right? And we had an episode and we learned that as well. So you've got to know what are the effects, cause and effects of the stuff that you're researching, okay? But you have in your ability, what is amazing is you can do anything that you put your mind to. And we are a smart people. Put your brain to use and really research the options that are out there to be able to take care. What did we do before there was all these little white pills everywhere, right? Research that stuff. Get your remedy books. I have a subscriber, bless her heart, girl. I hope you know who you are. She emails me almost every day lately. And she gives me emails full of information, full of books. She's like seriously an expert. She's amazing. And I have so many books now in my cart to get that have to do with remedy type stuff. Okay. This is important. And this is the future. Okay. The future is knowing this skill and what is what. Okay. And so every single time you learn something, you like that, do it, research it, see if you like it and do it. I can't stress enough. Get your antibiotics. I'm telling you right now today, if you ask me what I think some of my most important preps are, things that I'm so thankful that I have, that I'm blessed to have. And I think now, and I think long-term too, right? When the things are gone, right? And I think about all the things that I've stockpiled over the years and gotten and their purpose. And some of the stuff is just silly. Like, I don't need it. Like, why did I buy it? You know, years ago when you just don't know what you know, right? And you're just getting whatever frantically. But this right here is probably in the top 5 of my most favorite preparedness items in regards to importance and thankfulness that I have it. I'm telling you right now, this is a game changer, okay? Especially how we are going forward with things. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And if you've ever had an infection, a nasty infection, anywhere on your body, it hurts, okay? And it is hard. And people, if your body cannot correct itself, you can die, okay? It's not a game. This is the serious meds that are life-saving. And that's the craziness of something when you have an infection, that it can be something so simple. But something so simple as a tooth infection or an ear infection can take you out of the game. If it is not corrected and your body cannot correct itself on its own, game changer, okay? Game changer. Right here, JASE case. So if you don't have this, get this, okay? I hate pushing stuff, you guys, but I can't stress this. I think it's just super important, okay? Food, water, meds, okay? You've got to get that stuff, get your stuff in order. I hope you guys are well and you're doing all the things and you're preserving food. For me, I've been preserving food like crazy lately. That's what I've been concentrating on. Doing a lot of canning. It was super hot here for like about a week and a half, where I didn't do any canning, hardly any preserving at all. So now I'm getting back on that, preserving, more buckets, more rice, more stuff, right? But this right here is important. This topic is important. I would urge you to take a look at your medical supplies and your medicines, and do an inventory if you haven't. If you've done an inventory in the past, update it if you need to update it, but really take a look at it and think about all the things that could happen, and really make sure that you've hit all the wickets, because it's really easy with meds to be overwhelmed. And, you know, you have all these meds and then you miss something simple like the Orajel for your teeth, right? You miss something so small. And then when that happens to you, you're like, I can't believe, like, that happens to me. Hubby will be like, hey, do we have this? And I'll be like, wow, off the top, I don't know that we do. And I'll look at the inventory and I'll be like, we really didn't have that, right? And then I'll add it. So medicine and medical stuff and vitamins, it's such a big world, right? And it's so vast that it's very easy to miss pieces. That's why I always tell people, literally look at your body and just go all the way down from your head all the way to your feet, and literally just start scribbling notes of what you would want, the things that have happened to you in your life, nor the regular things that happen to you and your family from head to toe, and just start writing them down. You know, your head. Okay, headaches. Do we get headaches in our family? A lot. Do I need super strong stuff? Do I just need basic medicine for headache stuff? What holistic stuff? And for me, I look at what can I get for that body part or that ailment, both over the counter, man-made, and then also holistic, right? So for headaches, you know, what is good, what teas, what medicines, what vitamins will help assist with that. And I just go down. Okay, my ears now, right? I get double earaches all the time. Not all the time, but at least once a year, I get a good solid double earache. Okay, that's just me. Once a year, I get a solid double earache. Okay. And so what can you get for your earaches holistically, over the counter, all of that stuff? So I'm telling you right now, antibiotics is what you need for an earache, okay? That is an infection, okay? That happens. And so it's super important to have this stuff to be able to knock that stuff out, because that could go bad, okay? I think that the time now should be a time of urgency. I think try not to be stressed about this, like, oh, the medicine, you know. But what I would say is you do need to have an urgency for this stuff, okay? Because one thing I do know is when things go left, you have to have food to eat, you have to have water to drink, and you're gonna need a way to treat yourself and to make yourself better, because nobody is going to be able to do it for you. It only takes one event for things to shut down. It only takes one major crisis for hospitals to shut down, for there to be no doctors for you to go to. Maybe there's a crisis where there's no meds, or they get shifted to pharmacy. I mean, you have folks out there that don't have doctors, that don't have folks like that, and they can't, go to the pharmacy now when they just want it over the counter. You have folks that just want holistic stuff. Get your options, okay? And with that, what I would say is try not to be, it's like prepping and homestead. Don't be on either side. Why do you have to pick a side, right? It's all of it. We're all in this together. And I think that it's all in it together when it comes to meds too. You could be somebody who is, I only do holistic. I like holistic natural stuff. And I get that, baby. I get that, okay? Because I'm getting really heavy into that. And I'm a firm believer that that is the way to go. I also know that do not sell yourself short and not have stocked pills, stocked meds. Maybe you never take them, you better get them, okay? Because if something happens to you that is so devastating and really takes you down for the count in a way that holistically you just can't finagle, the right stuff to take to be better, right? And you just need something a little bit more hardcore to nip something in the butt right away, right? You have a crazy infection and you can't get it to go away holistically. You just can't. It's just hanging on. You just nip it in the butt, right? So just have both. It's just like people who say they only homestead, or they don't watch people who maybe are preserving food, but they're preserving store-bought food. They're like, oh, well, that's not really preserving food. Hello, dummy. It is, okay? It's still preserving food, stacking food, and overall preparedness, no matter which way you're doing it. Do both. Do it all. Mesh it all together. Stockpile stuff and look at other options so that you're able to give your family a different view of handling something depending on what happens and how it happens, okay, and how long it lasts, okay. I'm sure you guys have been going crazy in the chat with all types of information. For those of you that already have a JASE case, I know that you're excited. I already know you are. Well worth the money. I know that you're excited that you got it, and I'm sure that you've shared that with the group. For those of you that don't, listen, if you don't have the money right now, put you a couple dollars away, right? Put you $10 away a month, $20 away a month. And then when you get the money, get the JASE case, okay? Make sure you use my code to get $10 off of it, and to be able to save in any way that you can, right? but it's important to get it at a minimum on the list as a future purchase if you can't purchase it now, okay? And time is of the essence. We do not know how much time we have when you're messing with another country and what they're doing. And this is starting just like Russia did in regards to, we're just training, we're just over here, we're just making a point, right, of how close we can be and how we can line up and all this stuff. And will it turn into a real bona fide blockade? I'm telling you what, parts of me say we're not going to get involved, but then parts of me know when there's something that we as a country want, we're involved. And those chips, we want that. We need that. We want that. And that's why I think we will get involved, because we're not going to just let them dictate that. It's already going to be nasty with sanctions and cutting us off and all that stuff, and then we're just going to let go of some chips that we absolutely need in so many things that we use as a country. Is just, you know, you've got to be silly to not see the writing on the wall. It's there. It's going to happen. And you have time, though, to get the books, to do the research, to talk to holistic people, to professionals, to doctors. You have time to do all of that stuff, to put your whole game plan together and figure it out. And if you don't have a whole lot of money right now, you know what's free? Writing it down. Get a pen and a paper and just write down your notes. Write down your priorities of what you want first, what meds you want first. Is it over-the-counter stuff? Is it the JASE case? What are your priorities? Write it down. Do the research and write down the research. That's free, baby, okay? Research, okay? Write it down and find out the information that's going to help you now. That's free. That doesn't cost you anything to start researching the different ailments in your family now and what is helpful for those. Free, okay? Free, all right? So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys are inspired medically to get your stuff right. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse in any way, but I think that it's important to prepare for the future when it comes to our health, okay? Our overall health of us and our family members. So I hope you guys stay well. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you're having a great week. And I will see you guys on Friday on the next video. Take care. Bye.